I never thought the loudest sound I'd ever hear would be the one that ended everything I built. Yeah, I know that sounds dramatic, but that morning it was true. You want a hook picture? This. It's 6:14 a.m. on a muggy June morning, air so thick you feel like you're chewing it. Sweat gluing the sheets to your back, and just as you're wishing for 10 more minutes of sleep, the world decides to break apart. The first thing I hear isn't an alarm clock. It's this monstrous shriek metal grinding against wood like somebody tearing the ribs out of my house. Then a low, ugly engine rumble. The whole place shakes so hard a picture falls off the wall, the frame smashing on the floor. I'm groggy brain, still half stuck in some dumb dream about fishing with my dad until there's another tremor. This one makes the windows rattle, and I bolt upright just in time to hear glass shattering, angry voices, somebody shouting my name, and underneath it all, Karen's voice cutting through high and sharp and mean as a snapped piano wire. I stumble out, feet bare, pulling on the same jeans from yesterday, adrenaline in my throat. And when I wrench open the door, my whole world, my home, everything I'd sweat and bled and paid for is under attack. Two bulldozers right there in the front yard, already chewing through the east wall, right where my mom's hutch used to stand, the one she gave me the week before she died. And I swear at the controls there's Karen Delaney herself, president of the Hemlock Lake HOA, looking like she's having the time of her life. Her husband George is right beside her, grinning like he's at a carnival. Lined up on the sidewalk, 6 or 7 HOA board members, coffee mugs, clipboards, one guy filming on his phone like it's a parade and not a demolition. Not a single neighbor in sight, just a cluster of volunteers smirking as my life gets turned to rubble. And I can't move. I'm stuck there barefoot, feeling 20 years of memories get ground into kindling. But let me back up, because people always want to know, how does something like this even happen? How does a normal guy end up fighting a suburban war he never asked for? 3 years ago, I bought that place after a divorce that damn near broke me. I wanted quiet. No drama, no rules, no weird neighbor committees. That's why I picked 98 Hemlock Ridge, a little yellow cottage just outside the official boundaries of Hemlock Lake HOA. My realtor Stan swore up and down, "You're not in the HOA. You've got county rules, nothing else." I double-checked plat maps, even went to the county clerk. It was a weird sliver of land, but it was free. And for 6 months, it was everything I wanted. I fixed the porch, planted tomatoes, neighbors were friendly enough, waved hello, brought over banana bread. For a minute, I thought all those HOA horror stories were just clickbait. Then the first letter came. Cream-colored envelope, thick paper, gold-embossed logo. "Welcome to Hemlock Lake. Please remit your $385 annual dues and review the enclosed covenants and restrictions." Signed by Karen Delaney herself, her favorite phrase underlined for the good of the community. I called her all polite. "Hi, I think there's a mix-up. My house isn't in the HOA." She just laughs all syrupy. "Oh, you're mistaken, Mr. Carter. We consider all homes in this neighborhood part of our family." I laughed too, thought it was just overzealous welcome wagon stuff. But the letters kept coming. Second notice, delinquent, final warning. I started tossing them. That's when the neighborhood changed. Smiles vanished. People stopped waving. Then somebody egged my mailbox. A week later, I found a dead squirrel nailed to my fence. Yeah, really. Some kind of sick warning. That's when it hit me. These folks played for keeps. About then, I met Lisa, my next-door neighbor, the only one still talking to me. She'd gone her own rounds with the HOA over the color of her front door, fought them for 2 years, and came out scarred but breathing. She'd text me whenever Karen's minions were poking around or the board was meeting. One night, she showed up on my porch, eyes wide, whispering, "They're talking about you. Karen says if you don't comply, she'll make an example out of you." After that, it wasn't funny anymore. I got a lawyer. Carl Gibbons' wiry voice, like gravel, carried himself like a guy who'd been chewed up by a dozen HOAs before breakfast. He checked everything, my deed, title, insurance, plat maps. "You're clean," he said. "But HOAs like this, they play dirty. Don't ignore them. Document everything." So I started a folder, printed every letter, took pictures, logged every call. Then out of nowhere, I wake up to a citation taped to my door, $500 fine for non-compliant landscaping. Remove unauthorized garden beds within 72 hours, unauthorized, on my land. I laughed, texted Karen again. My house is not under your authority. Leave me alone. No answer. Next week I come home. Garden bed's gone. Every tomato, every pepper, every marigold ripped out the dirt, still raw, stinking of weed killer. Lisa caught George on video yanking up my roses. I call Carl, he sends a cease and desist. Karen fires back with a lawsuit threat. That's when I realized they wanted to grind me down. Make me quit or give in. I fought back, filed a police report, but the cops shrugged. It's a civil matter. The county clerk rolled her eyes. They pull this every year. Keep your paperwork handy. Karen ramped up, spread rumors I was a squatter, said I forged my deed. My neighbor, Mr. Reynolds, stopped waving. His wife, she used to bring over pie, crossed the street when she saw me. I started doubting myself. Should I cave? Was I being stubborn? Or just stupid? Then came the twist. One afternoon, a courier drops a thick envelope on my porch. Official notice of annexation. A doctored plat map with my lot shaded pink. And a note from Karen. We welcome you to the HOA family. Fees are retroactive to your purchase date. Carl just laughed, but it stopped being funny when a cop knocked on my door. Mr. Carter, we got a report of trespassing. The HOA claims you're occupying property you don't own. I almost lost it. I marched him through every document I had, deeds, mortgage, title, insurance. He left shaking his head, but the seed was planted. Half the town thought I was a scammer. Lisa stayed in my corner. Over beers, she told me about Tom, another neighbor, bullied into selling his house at a loss. They'll do anything she said to get their way. I started recording everything, cameras on the porch, one in the oak tree, even wired my mailbox. Paranoid, maybe. But a week later, I get an email from a guy named Gary Sanford, ex-HOA board member. I know what they're doing to you. I have proof. Meet me at the diner, no phones. Yeah, I was suspicious. But what else could I do? I went. Gary was nervous, hunched over a coffee, kept checking the door. He slides me a folder, scanned emails, board meeting minutes, and best of all, a draft of a letter from Karen never sent, but she'd typed. Carter's property is a thorn in our side, but we have no legal basis to annex it. That was the smoking gun. With Gary's help, Carl built a timeline. 3 years the HOA had been trying every trick, every year shot down by the county. They faked votes, forged signatures, paid a surveyor to move boundaries, every bit of it illegal documented. This time when we went to the sheriff, they listened. This is criminal fraud, maybe racketeering. Word spread. Karen panicked, called an emergency meeting, closed to the public. Lisa slipped in, disguised as a guest, and recorded everything. Karen, red-faced, swore she'd finish this. Somebody asked, what about the legal risk? Karen barked, let him sue. By the time he does, there won't be a house left to defend. 3 days later, yeah, that's when the bulldozers came. The next 20 minutes are a blur. I'm on 911 screaming, running at Karen's bulldozer, banging on the window. She just grins and mouths, you should have joined. The cops showed up fast. Maybe Lisa called, maybe Gary tipped them off. They pulled Karen, George, and 2 board members out of the cabs and cuffed them on my lawn. Cameras everywhere, Lisa's news crews, even that one board guy still filming, not realizing the circus had turned on him. After that, the dust didn't settle. It just shifted to the courthouse. Karen lawyered up, tried to claim it was all a miscommunication, that I'd consented verbally. We played the tapes, every threat, every plan. Gary testified, Lisa testified, even the surveyor flipped under pressure. The courtroom was packed. The judge tore into Karen, called her actions malicious, deliberate, criminal. She and George got years in prison. The HOA got hit with a class action suit. Gary, Lisa, 3 other families joined. The board dissolved. The HOA office, once spotless, got tagged with graffiti. Karen's house went on the market. George's business collapsed. Nobody wanted anything to do with them. And me, I rebuilt. Not because I wanted to, but because I had to. That house was mine, always would be. The neighborhood changed like a spell had lifted. People waved again, kids played in the street. But for me, the win wasn't the money or the new porch or even the courtroom victory. It was that I stood up. I didn't run. Sometimes I drive past the old HOA sign, now half buried in weeds, faded and crooked, and I think about what it cost to feel free. And sometimes if I catch the flash of a clipboard or hear the click of a camera, I just smile, let them try, because now the whole town remembers. And so do I. So what do you think? Was I right to stand my ground, or did I just pour gas on the fire? Do HOAs really protect a community, or are they just bullies with clipboards? Tell me below, because this is one fight that never really ends.